County Commission meeting called to order July 15th, 2014. We're exactly 1 hour and 1 minute late. It's 1 minute after 7. Have a moment of silence, please. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have you had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
I move we accept the minutes of the previous meeting. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Correspondence. I have 2 letters to read to you. I'll be quick as I can, okay? State of West Virginia, Office of the Governor. Dear Commissioner Sandor, I am pleased to inform you that I have approved a Justice Assistance Grant, JAG, award to the Douglas County Commission in an amount of $20,000. Funds will provide 1 prevention resource officer at Douglas County High School. Please let me know if our Division of Justice and Community Services staff or I can be further assistance. Sincerely, Earl Ray Thomas. Antero Resources Corporation, Douglas County Senior Citizens Incorporated, Douglas County Health Department, Douglas County Commission. Dear Douglas County Senior Citizens Incorporated, Douglas County Health Department, Douglas County Commission. Antero Resources Corporation is engaged in operations to drill for and produce oil and natural gas in West Virginia. As part of its operations, Antero must conduct engineering surveys to establish lease and surface tract boundary lines, including surveys of lands, the surface of which are not used for the drilling of wells. Antero is required to provide written notice to surface landowners prior to entering their lands to conduct such surveys. As the owner of non-drill site lands, this letter is to serve as notice to you of Antero's intent to enter your property to conduct an engineering survey in connection with a well or wells which will be located on other property. This notice is being provided to you pursuant to West Virginia Code 22-6A-10A, which requires that notice be given 7 days, but no more than 45 days prior to commencement of surveying operations, and must contain the following information: operator's name, Antero Resource Corporation address. And somebody asked me about this one time, and I wasn't sure, but I'm sure now. They can come on your property and survey it, and they don't have to ask you nothing. Will you please give those to the clerk? Thank you very much. I have no more correspondence. Do we have a sign-in somewhere?
Yep.
We're up to public comment right now. Nobody wants to speak. Check that, make sure I'm right, please.
Nobody wants to speak.
Nobody wants to speak.
Well, wait a minute. There's a chair. Nah, nobody wants to speak.
Okay. Greg, Cheryl, you can go first if you want to speak. Public comment. Greg?
I've got 2 items to relate. One is we closed on the house down here. I think it's 113 Cross Street. I believe is what the address is. We closed last Thursday down at Harrisville, and we brought the documents up and I assume they've been recorded now. And, excuse me, we left the keys with Beth, and we had previously discussed with Pat Easter, him looking at the place and giving us some recommendations on any upgrades. He verbally, I saw him at the restaurant, I believe it was last night, and he indicated that in all probability we're going to have to do some electric upgrades, which we all knew that. He hasn't finalized anything yet, but he said it looks like in his opinion, probably the main level will serve for the uses that we're wanting. The floodplain coordinator's office and the OES office and an office for the executive assistant. He will get that information and put it in the form of a proposal and bring it to us. The other thing, and I guess Mike and I had probably had just kind of cross wires, I guess you could say. I thought he was going to request and come to tonight's meeting and be put on the agenda, and he apparently thought that I was going to take care of that. So anyway, I want to put on the agenda for next meeting for hiring a process server. Now, let me back up a ways to explain about that. I asked Mike, it's probably been around somewhere around Memorial Day, if there was a possibility that if we could come up with the money to hire a deputy to address situations that have been at least vocalized in the county as far as withdrawing, illegal withdrawal of water and problems on the roads, and situations like that. And if y'all recall, during my previous infamous speech, I said that I thought oil and gas companies should obey the law just like everybody else. And so I talked to Mike later, he indicated that it would be very difficult to hire a new deputy for that purpose, because once they're hired, then you have difficulty. And what I told him was that if this oil and gas boom starts to lessen like it has in the past, and we didn't need them, then we could get rid of the deputy. And he said, well, that's the problem. You can't get rid of deputies. And I mean, I don't mean that to sound so negative, but that's just a fact of life. But he came up with another proposal. He said that his deputies spend a considerable amount of time each day process serving. And he said, this person, that if you hired a process server, it would not have to be a deputy. And he said he had the vehicles that he could use for this person, and that in turn would free up a considerable amount of time for his deputies. And I said, and you would be agreeable to let them, for that period of time, concentrate on these particular issues, whether it's traffic, or whether it's withdrawing water when you're not supposed to. I mean, there may be some restrictions there, but I think you all understand the concept anyway. So he is going to come. He indicated that it probably, well, he gave me a figure about between $30,000 and $40,000 a year, which would include the salary and I think they probably would be part-time, so there wouldn't be any benefits, but I think it was on the lower end of the 30,000 range. So that's what I've asked Beth to put on the agenda for next meeting. So just wanted to explain that.
Could I ask a question concerning the subject? How much does the sheriff's office make off the process serving every year?
I don't know that.
I don't know the answer either.
Isn't it, I think it's
I didn't-
$25 at least, or used to be. If you had something served by the sheriff, they were paid a $25 fee.
Who pays it?
The person who's wanting stuff processed or served,
Oh, okay.
okay?
I guess I don't understand what they're.
I wonder how much the sheriff's office is being paid that could be put towards that $40,000 a year.
Well, we can ask Mike, maybe he can tell us. Huh?
It's in the revenues.
Oh, okay.
Is that going in general fund?
Yeah,
Goes in general?
they're part of it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we got a long one
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
for
All right.
anybody that wants them.
It would be the other one. I don't see it there. I know we do something with the other one. See that I never paid a whole lot of attention to it.
On water, thank you, Rita.
Because it was never around. Would you get me a Coke, please?
What do you want?
Coke.
Yeah. Get you one. You want a diet? You want regular? Regular? You got it. Diet.
Okay, sure. Service process, $329. So far this year,
Right.
we've got $226.
Anybody else can get you one? Let me get,
Cheers.
what do you want, buddy? What do you want?
This is Justin's. Justin's good. Thank you.
Did you hear that?
What's that now?
$226 so far this July. Because we're just starting out a new year, I don't have very many numbers for this year. And I don't have last year's stuff with me.
Thank you. Okay. New business. Item A, Kevin Means, Community Corrections.
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome.
A few weeks ago, I was asked to come up with an actual estimate of the monies that we were asking for. When I first came in here, I said, it's probably going to be around $5,000, something like that. Well, I had used Lowe's website. We did the measurements. We came up with about what I thought we were going to need. And I had given it some... Okay. So this is what I actually came up with. Just a little under 3,000. So it's considerably less than what, sorry about that, I was sweating through it when it was in my pocket. So it's, it's a little less than what we thought, but we're going to be able to do the labor. We just need the material. And what's that? Yes, we're just going to make the false walls insulated well. Denny Powell was in today checking out the air conditioning or lack of. And, so he's going to get somebody on top of that. And we're just going to basically move one of the vents around where it blows up, put a vent in the floor there, move one of the ducts around. And the heating and cooling should be no problem at all. And so my request is that the commission would see fit to help us out here.
Can I ask a question?
Great. I'll make a motion, you want to make a
I'll make a motion to go with that. Absolutely.
motion? $2,944.74.
Yes.
Motion's been made that we donate $2,944.74 for remodeling office upstairs
Yes, for the
Is that right?
GED program.
for the GED program.
Mhm.
All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it.
What the money do, if they don't have an account, they just have, you don't have a separate account from your community corrections grant.
No.
I handle their check writing through the community corrections fund. They don't have a fund to put the money in. I can put it under, in that fund, and then keep it separate. Try to keep it separate. And then they'll submit bills and I can pay them. That works.
Okay. However.
Otherwise, they'll have to set up an account or something.
All right, thank you,
Keep
Beth.
track of the money.
Kevin, is this going to be handicap accessible?
Yes. What we're going to have to do, and this is going to be something separate, is we're going to have the room upstairs, but we also have a very small room downstairs where if someone is ADA, they can be down there and computer screens, or the large TV that we have on the wall. Good?
Okay.
All right, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Item B, Civil Service Board Member, Denver Cox.
Yes, I have been recommended by Don Constant and Jim Bland that Denver Cox be appointed to Civil Service, and Denver has agreed to be that.
Okay.
Choosing.
I move that we accept Denver Cox on Civil Service Board Member. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item C, confirm bank depository.
Last time we got the one on Rushden Bank, this is on Cornerstone Bank, and I need you to sign on the back once you've approved it.
See where it's not. Oh, first page, no wonder.
These go before, both of these go before Brooke first, and she approves them and signs off on them.
Okay. Yeah, you can. Go on.
I'll move to accept, confirm the bank depository with Cornerstone.
Yeah. Okay, motion has been made. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Item D, court security grant.
This is for $58,590. That's what you were approved for. This resolution, I signed it, but I have paper for you, so I'm not once you, everything else.
Application or receipt of? Application for grant or receipt of?
We have already filed the application and it was approved. And the other says congratulations on the recent court security grant award. And it was for that amount, $15,590.
590?
Yeah.
Has the project been identified? The project that you'll use it for?
Yes. I don't know if it's in this one. It's going, I know it basically it approves still some on the, it pays on the guards, correct? And then we've got more security lighting. They wanted some more security lighting around in different places of the courthouse and some different locks on some of the doors. Like the prosecutor, the judge, different things like that. So the key entry. And I can't remember now what all was in it.
In some payroll?
Pardon?
You said in some payroll? For
That's
their-
what helps pay for the guards.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, motion
We need a motion?
on this resolution that approves Ralph to sign the papers.
So moved.
Well, motion for, so I can sign the paper.
Yeah, resolution.
Oh, resolution, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried. Okay, have that.
Thank you very much.
We need a motion on the security grant.
That's what we just did, I think.
Yeah, because, yeah, I know, because you've approved the grant.
I thought so.
But now, all what they were voting on was to approve you signing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what we did.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to item E. Release of DCAA equipment from lease agreement.
You had
What it is?
stuff on there. I was told to put it on there.
Anything about it? On it.
The only thing that what I know is that with buying the new ambulance that we're supposed to receive sometime here in July, that we're going to trade in one of the old ambulances. I think the one that
Yeah,
is broken down.
and this releases that.
And then you have to release it off of the lease agreement in order to do that. But I would say that we probably need to get some documents, and I would say table that until the next meeting.
Okay. Item F, set date for first meeting in August. Okay, we're going to be going third, fourth, and fifth,
5th and 6th.
and sixth.
We'll get back to 6th.
We'll get back to sixth, okay.
So it's gonna be 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, all right. So when do you want to have the meeting?
This will be the morning meeting. I would say either the 7th or the 8th. That'd be Thursday or Friday,
Okay,
would be my suggestion, maybe Thursday.
I'd say
okay. Okay,
So I'll move that we change the meeting date for the first meeting in August to August 7th at 9 a.m.
August 7th. 7th at 9 a.m. Okay, meeting date has been changed to August 7th, 9 a.m. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Okay, that's going to be our meeting day. G, set time for a public comment period.
Well, that was my proposal from the last meeting. As I had indicated, I had talked to John Sorrenti. I'm not sure how his name's pronounced, but he indicated that yes, public comment period should be at the beginning, but he said that there could be a limit set on public comment period, and he said it could be from a half an hour to whatever. I suggest, or I will make a motion that we set the limit on the public comment period of our meetings at 1/2 hour, and then depending upon how many people sign up to speak, will determine how long each person gets to speak. That's my motion.
So, let me see if I get this right. Doesn't matter how many people is here, the time is only 30 minutes.
Right, correct.
Okay.
And if, for example, there were 10 people that wanted to speak, then that would automatically set it to 3 minutes per person.
Okay.
If there's less than 6, then it can be the 5 minute
Okay.
period.
And the public comment's still going to be at the beginning of the meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Max 5 minutes?
Max 5 minutes
What you said?
ordinarily,
Yeah.
unless there's more,
Okay.
but the total limit is 1/2 hour.
Okay. Okay, you made the motion.
I made the motion.
Okay. Motion is made. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. I vote nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. H, vaccination date set for a clinic. I think it's already done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
July
put that on as a follow-up to last
Okay.
time, but
All right.
it is done.
All right, thank you. Invoices, exoneration, probate order, budget revision. Have any? You do.
The budget revision is to move the salary, the state had us put it in a contingency account until the state approved the county, the commission to get, and the other elected officials to get their salary increases. So now we're moving it from that contingency account into each of the elected officials' accounts.
Okay.
We also have, there's two things. One was the law enforcement with repairs to the vehicle. We had moved it last year in the budget, but we didn't get the bill till July, so I needed to move it again. So it'd be in the line item to pay it. It's the vehicle that was wrecked.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other one was same thing, the generator for banks, they were holding up until they got the gas line,
Okay.
but we didn't get the bill till July, so
Okay.
so we had to move the money again. So,
Okay.
and then one of the state grants was $5,069. That was this for the radios.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything budgeted for that, so because we weren't expecting it, so I had to move money over into it.
Okay, how much did you move for the raises?
For the raises, the under contingency, be $57,161,
Okay.
and that's, covers the salary of FICA and retirement.
Can we do all these in one motion or you gotta
Yeah,
have all
that's
separate?
just one budget revision.
Okay, we'll make a motion for Ray first.
I move that we accept the budget revisions as presented.
Motion's been made to accept the budget revision as presented. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion is carried.
57,171. Oh, sorry, I missed it.
57,161.
161.
Okay.
Way too hot now.
There's their $10.
Yeah, good. Okay. Floodplain permit report?
Sir. Good evening, all. I have 3 separate reports here, and this is the way that I would like to move forward with the reports as we go forward and revising and really nailing down the process of what we got here. So what I did was I prepared 3 reports, including any new permit applications that have been received between the previous county commission meeting and the current county commission meeting, the Thursday prior to. Okay, and the reason we're doing the Thursday prior to is so that we can meet newspaper deadlines to make sure that all the information is both announced and published on the same day. Because we have a Tuesday deadline for publication, the actual newspaper deadline for submission has been extended to Monday most of the time, but it's actually Friday morning. So we're trying to get everything in by Thursday evening, close of business. That way they have plenty of time to do what they need to do. We've been very lax in that, and that's something that I want to stop. I want us to be more precise on that so that we get the information to make sure that it's out there. So the first report is permits, new permit applications that have come in. Those are applications received between June 27th and July 10th and are announced on July the 15th of 2014. That includes permit applications 14-232 to 14-244. So we had a total of 12 permit applications that came in. Out of those 12, every single one of them are out of the floodplain. So there is no regulatory authority per the Doddridge County Floodplain Ordinance for us to either approve or deny these projects. Okay, so that being said, with the approved list, these are permits that have been approved between the prior commission meeting and the current commission meeting. So these are permits approved between July 1st and July 15th and announced again on July 15th today. That includes 14-193, and I'm not going to go into full detail on these. 14-224, 14-225, 14-226, 227, 228, 231, 232, 233, 234, 235, 236, it's a long list, 237, 238, 239, 240, 241, 242, 243, 244, and again, all of those are outside of the floodplain. So again, nothing that's actually impacting the floodplain was approved during this prior cycle. Okay. Now, we do still have 6 permits that are still pending, that are within the floodplain, and I will read these in detail. These are permit applications still pending as of today, July 15th. That includes 14-208, which is the Antero North Canton Connector Pipeline located in the McClellan District. That permit was received on 4/25/14. The 90-day approval window from the date of receipt would be 7/24/14, so we're coming up on that very quickly. The description of that is it's a 7.86 mile pipeline with 0.23 acres of pipeline that are impacting the floodplain. We're awaiting additional permits from other agencies before approval. We got some of those in today. However, I believe they're still waiting on one from the Department of Highways. So that one has not been approved yet. most likely because of the 90-day window approval date, I've talked to Antero, and they will most likely submit a extension for that program, for this project, awaiting that final permit. Once that final permit comes in, we'll go ahead and approve that permit at that time. 14-209, that's the EQT Neely Storage Yard. That's located in the Central District. That was received on May 8th of 2014. The 90-day approval window for that one is August the 6th. The description is that it's a 6.16 acre temporary storage yard to support the Saturn compressor station with 4.97 acres in the floodplain. We're awaiting additional permits from other agencies as well as a hydraulics and hydrology study before approval. That's the big one. This is a project that will involve fill within the floodplain, and so we have to have an H&H study done by the company in order to ensure that this isn't going to raise the floodplain itself more than the foot. There's also some question with they're going to be using gravel and things like that, and we want to make sure that that's not being washed down onto other properties and things. So we're waiting that. August 6th, we're quickly approaching that window. They will probably do an extension for that project as well, past the 90-day window. 14-215, Antero Arnold's Creek withdrawal and the Diane Davis water line that's located in the Central District. It was received on 5/19/2014. 90-day approval window from date of receipt is 8/17/14. That's a water line project from Arnold's Creek to Diane Davis tank pad. Approximately 600 foot of the water line will be constructed in the floodplain. Again, we're awaiting additional permits from other agencies, and I did receive some of those today. I believe that this one, probably by the next commission meeting, will be approved, because I think they've got all their ducks in a row at this point. But it wasn't ready for this commission meeting yet. 14-223, Antero Diane Davis pipeline, same. We received the rest of the permits today, and so by next commission meeting, this one will probably be approved. It's located in the Central District, received 5/30/14, 90-day approval window from date of receipt is 8/28/14. The project description on that is 0.48 mile pipeline with 0.1 acre constructed in the floodplain. And again, waiting for those additional permits. 14-229, that's the Crestwood Marcellus Midstream LLC Victor and Brooks pipeline located in the Greenbrier District. That was received on June the 16th. 90-day approval window from date of receipt is 9/17. That is a pipeline project from the Victor pad to the Brooks pad. Approximately 550 linear feet of pipeline is within the floodplain, and we are awaiting additional permits from other agencies before approval. Crestwood Marcellus Midstream, number 14230, the Snake Run pipeline located in the Milton District. That was received on 6/18. 90-day approval window from date of receipt was 9/19/14. And the project description, pipeline project from Snake Run well pad to the main line. Approximately 120 linear feet of pipeline is within the floodplain. And again, awaiting additional permits from other agencies before approval. So in regards to these reports, hopefully they're more detailed. They have a lot more functionality to them for folks for transparency, so folks can identify and know what's going on with these projects. And so I'd like to keep a running tally of that if it's sufficient for the commission, so that this information can get out there. Does that work?
Great.
The format's good? Excellent.
Now, all of these are on the new ones are out of the floodplain, right?
Yes, indeed, yeah, absolutely. And what we've done to further help us back in the back room, we're doing some additional organizational work back in the back room with the actual files. Anything that's outside the floodplain, if anybody comes in to look at them, all the ones that are tabbed in yellow highlighter are outside the floodplain. Those tagged with pink are inside the floodplain. So it just helps us, as a visual, it helps us delineate which projects are actually in the floodplain, which ones are not. So that's just one small little aspect of what we're doing to try to make things more fluid and professional. So, on a personal note, I will not be here all next week. I'm taking my son, we're going college visiting to the Northeast next week. So I will be leaving Friday morning from here. I will not be returning until Friday night. I plan to come in and work Saturday next week and catch up on any work that's come in over that week. The following week, both myself and Katie will be out of the office attending the L273 Floodplain Management through the National Flood Insurance Program class at Pipestown Resort, which is a state-sponsored class. All costs will be refunded to the county. It's no cost to the county at all for us to go. And that will get Katie certified, get me certified, keep us within compliance with the NFIP program for the county, and get a lot more, especially for Katie, a lot more understanding. I've already been through the class once, but I go every year as a refresher because it's a great refresher. So that will be the week of the 28th through the end of the month. That will be Monday through Thursday. We will be back on Friday. So I've already talked to Tammy. The newspaper announcements won't be ready until Friday of that week instead of Thursday afternoon by close of business that I want to start doing. Since we won't get back until Thursday night from the class, it'll be Friday morning. We'll have those turned around. So I have nothing else.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did we not talk about a fee for permits out of the floodplain? What's happening there? What, fill me in.
I have done nothing on that. That is an issue that I really have no authority over. That's got to be the commission to decide what you want to do as far as if you want to pass an additional ordinance. It really, from my understanding, it really cannot be included within the floodplain ordinance itself, because the floodplain ordinance, as put down from the federal government to the state and then to the local, deals specifically with the floodplain. Anything that's outside that floodplain, if it's 5 feet outside that floodplain, I can't touch it.
Okay.
So that's going to have to be a separate issue.
So where do we go? Where do we go from here? April, can you tell us where to go? Really, don't tell.
Right across the plate, but that's something you'll have to handle separately. Because he's right, it can't be a part of the floodplain ordinance since they're specifically not in the floodplain, but that sounds like a separate ordinance we'll have to.
Where do we go to get this started?
Well, you all are the ones that get it started, so I guess put it on an agenda and we can, work with our office and see what we need to do to come up with some language.
I think we talked about that one time about we should get something for permits because we're involved in doing paperwork and you're involved in doing things and Katie is. And I think we should get something. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I agree.
Well, can we put that on our next agenda then?
There is one thing I would like to clarify real quick here. And with the reports, the new and the approved, you notice for those folks that have these reports that everything that's in the new is also in the approved. Now, for the floodplain ordinance, if a project is within the floodplain, we have regulatory delays put in place. There's a 20-day comment window. There's the 90-day approval window and things of that nature that the floodplain manager has their discretion to use that 90-day window to assess the project. Those are not going to be impacted. What we did was I went with the commission, and we made a decision that while the companies are providing the data to us, if the project is located entirely outside the floodplain, we have no regulatory authority. So we really can't tell them yes or no whether they can do this project. As long as they have all of their other permits and ducks in a row, which we have no control over, that's their issue as far as getting started on the project. But we have no reason and no regulatory authority to delay them. So at that point, all of those permits will still be announced at the next commission meeting. They will also be published so that there's a public record of these projects. So that's to aid in transparency of the process, so the public is aware of all the projects that we're aware of. We want to make sure that hasn't been happening. Those projects that have been outside the floodplain haven't been being published. We want to correct that and make sure that that happens from this point forward for full transparency. However, the 20-day window for comments will still apply. Anybody is welcome to, after the announcement, to submit letters of approval or disapproval during a 20-day window, and those will be put in the official records of those permit applications. but we will go ahead and sign off on those immediately as they're received, because we have no regulatory authority to tell them not to. So anything that's outside the floodplain, we'll go ahead and get approval through our office, and then it's on, the onus of responsibility is upon the individual companies to get all of their other permits and things and ducks in a row before they actually begin their projects. So I wanted to clarify that and make sure that everybody understands that. We're still doing as much as we can to make the information available to the public, to give the opportunity for a public comment period on these projects, in addition to actually above and beyond what the ordinance states that we're required to do.